So here we are headed to Copart to pick up the next project. Bid on something. You may or may not like it, we'll see. But on my way to pick it up now. Traveling from Midland to El Paso to pick it up, so we're almost there. Get it loaded in a little bit. And so I asked my friend Bob to come by and help me out. I don't know if I'll need it. Hopefully I don't. But it seems the truck is a little bit probably wider than my trailer, so the wheels may not go over the fenders on the trailer. So I'm hoping that they'll just be able to put it on there with the forklift, and then I'll figure something out to get it off the trailer later on. So, well, I told you folks that we were picking up a new project. I bid on this Raptor F150 at Copart. Picked it up. We got it home. As you can see, there's some damage here in the front. But overall, it's not too bad. The biggest issue you'll see when I come around, you know, this truck is pretty nice. I got it up on jack stands right now, and I'll tell you what the plan's gonna be for it. But right now, I've been ordering some parts, trying to get some things on the way so we can get this truck fixed. Overall, really nice. The interior's like new. We do have a little hit right here that I don't believe was related to the accident in the front. This was probably from a different deal, but we're gonna have to do some work to get this straightened out here. And then we have of course the damage out front here, which is the big damage is right here, folks. As you can see right in here, that tow hook is folded completely over. And this tire, the original tire, which I have over here, as you can see, it's got a big chunks missing out of the center of it, where it got pushed all the way back up against the fender. The cab there was tearing up the tire, and so what that did was not only did it fold there, but you can see it's folded right behind the strut assembly and all here. And so it looks like this is really bad. That depends on how you look at it. I did pick this up, and it was expensive. As you know, these Raptors are not cheap, but I did pick it up at Copart, and it cost me a little bit more than what I thought I should spend on it, but nonetheless, I still think it was a good buy, considering we're gonna do a lot of this ourselves. Now let me tell you what we're gonna do. Well, I did talk to a body man, has a frame machine, and he looked at that, and he saw some things underneath there, and it may be hard to see them, but it did rip the frame in some places and all. So he said fix this was probably gonna cost more than to do a frame swap. So I guess that's where we go next. We're gonna have to do a frame swap on this Raptor F150. I did find a frame, came out of California. I should be going to pick that up tomorrow at the junkyard. They had a Raptor that had a good frame on it, and so we're gonna go look at it and see if that's a good deal. I also am going to Dallas to pick up the complete front bumper. Now I do have the other part of this grill here. You can see this piece that comes here. I already took the other side off, but it is broken. The plastic's broken. We're gonna try and weld that plastic and get that piece back on. But everything below that, which is the bumper and the little grill that's in the middle there, and the skid plate that's underneath there, was pretty ripped up as well. Picking that up in Dallas, and so we'll go get that, and then we're gonna do a frame swap. Once we get the frame swapped, then we'll work on the minor body issues that'll remain. In reality, that was the biggest issue, was just that the frame got hit so hard that the truck runs, and you know, starts, runs perfect, there's no leaks. It did puke out all of the AC Freon, so we're gonna need a new condenser. And once I start tearing into this, I gotta pull this piece of bumper back that got ripped off, and I'm probably just gonna cut that piece off with a Sawzall to get that off of there before we can start seeing the damage. But before we rip into any of all of that stuff, I figured the easiest way to go about it is to do a frame swap. Go ahead and get this frame out from under here, get a good frame on it, because right now, even with this spare tire here that we picked up as a loaner, we got that on there. It will allow it to turn, but it still rubs when all the weight of the truck is on it. So the suspension, when it goes up, it still rubs, so it's like having the brakes on. So it can't really move the truck too much. And so I figured doing the frame swap is the best way to go first. I could try and straighten it enough to be able to move the truck around, but I figure we might as well get into the heavy duty stuff first. Now the inside of the truck is perfect. It did set off the seat belt locks, so we'll probably have to send those to a safety restore and get those redone. But the airbags did not go off, and I can see the sensors are here and good, so hopefully we won't have to do anything there. But yeah, I'm gonna be going over with my trailer to pick up the frame tomorrow morning, and then we're gonna get started on this. And this is gonna be unique for me because, as you can see, I just been working out of my 2-car garage here, and so doing a frame swap with that without a lift or anything else, that's gonna be a real DIY type frame swap. I haven't seen anyone do one of these this way. I did see one done on another channel where the individual, I think it was a Toyota or something. So it's something similar, but we'll see if this works. This is going to be a challenge, especially when working on this alone. So right now I've got to run over and pick up some pipe that I'm going to buy so I can weld up a frame. It's not an A-frame. It's going to be more like a, I don't know, a block frame or whatever you want to call it. But basically, I need to build a frame that's going to go from right here. It's going to go over the top here. And once we get the hood off, it's going to go over the top. It's going to come down on the side, and I'm going to use it to support the engine here and the front half of this radiator support and radiator and all this stuff up front. So we're gonna try and do this without removing the cab all the way off the frame first, and then pulling the engine out, and then swapping suspension parts, taking them off and swapping them to the new frame, and then, you know, hooking all that back up and rolling it underneath here and then letting the cab back down. That method isn't gonna work for us because we just don't have the equipment. So the method I'm going to try is a little bit different. We're going to try to take the engine off the motor mounts, and we're going to support it in the air with one of these, call it a A-frame or call it a whatever you want to call it. You'll see it when I get it set up. And I'll support that, and then I'll try and support the transmission once I get the frame lowered enough to get something underneath there. We'll support the transmission with some jacks or something so that we can drag the frame out from underneath it. We'll collapse the suspension, we'll pull the back suspension off, we'll pull the bed off, and we'll just pull everything out. And then the last piece will be to go ahead and drag the frame out from under it, just with the front suspension on it without the actual struts and the coilovers. We'll take all that off to collapse the suspension all the way up so that it'll require the least amount of clearance on this truck. It will pull the four-wheel drive stuff in the front. The axle will come with the frame. Then we'll swap that over to the new frame, and we'll drag the new frame underneath it, and then we'll go ahead and try and get it back up there and get it bolted back up to the body. Then we can get the back suspension back underneath it and get all this suspension work up front done. I'm hoping that by doing it that way, will be less of a chore with all the disconnection of hoses, wires, and all of this other stuff up in here in the hood. I've seen a frame swap on a F350. I think it was Junkyard Dave or somebody like that. I'll go ahead and maybe you guys can look it up under that and see his frame swap. But that one there was quite a challenge, even with the equipment that he had. So what I'm going to try and do is just do this the DIY for those folks that, you know, don't have the equipment or really can't afford the big shop. I don't have the shop here, and so I'm just having to do with what I've got. So we'll see where it goes. So for now, I'm gonna go ahead and button this up and try and get over and pick up that pipe that I'm supposed to get tonight, so that I can start welding up on it and building that frame that I'm thinking I'm gonna need. So we'll see. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. So please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. You know, if you like it, leave some comments. Appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.